Welcome to Crypto Classroom, the #1 YouTube channel for learning about cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, and other topics in the cryptocurrency world through easy-to-understand analogies, stories, and examples. In this video, we'll be talking about tokenomics. To kick things off, what is tokenomics? It's from the combination of token and economics. It's also referred to as cryptoeconomics, which is defined as the quality of a token which will convince a user or investor to buy it or not. This in turn helps in building the ecosystem around the underlying project of that token. From this, you may be wondering what is meant by quality. Simply speaking, anything that affects the value of a token is part of a tokenomics, so with this in mind, you can say that tokenomics is a pretty broad subject that covers a variety of components. Now, the primary component to consider is how the nature of such commerce differs from traditional industrial economies, because remember its characteristics. Decentralized requires very little capital to scale and significantly more secure transactions. So what is a token? In real life, a token is something that serves as a visible or tangible representation of a fact, quality, or feeling. Kind of like casino chips. Those aren't actual money, but have value in whatever amount is printed on them. Another example is a trophy you've won in a competition. It represents your skills and talents that you put at top and the recognition by all that you are a champion. Or land title that proves you own a piece of land on which you can build anything you want. In the world of crypto, a token is a representation of something in its particular ecosystem, which could be value, stake, voting rights, or anything else. Bear in mind that a token need to be limited to one specific role, as it can fulfill a lot of roles in its native ecosystem. Broadly speaking, a token can represent an asset or utility that a company has, and this would usually be offered to investors during a public sale. Now, let's compare tokens versus cryptocurrencies. The biggest difference is that cryptocurrencies have their own blockchains, while crypto tokens are built on an existing blockchain. Cryptocurrencies are made keeping in mind the monetary benefit, while it's the opposite for most tokens, which are created to represent no money or monetary value at all. Moving along, let's talk about the types of tokens we can use to best suit our requirements. To make it easy, we can categorize different tokens, and since this is a vast topic, this video will just focus on a few important ones. Before we get into it, if you're enjoying this video, it would be great if you hit that subscribe button and give us a like, as it keeps us going to make more of these explainer videos for all of you to learn from and enjoy. Let's begin. First, Layer 1 versus Layer 2. Layer 1 is the main blockchain that is the token which powers this blockchain. Layer 2 is the decentralized app or ICO built on top of that underlying blockchain. We know it's confusing, so to better understand it, here's an example. Omisego. It's a project that is built on top of the Ethereum blockchain. So you can say that Ethereum is Layer 1 and is powered by Ether, the Layer 1 token. Omisego is Layer 2 and is powered by OMG, which makes it the Layer 2 token. In this example, the well-being of the Layer 2 application is completely dependent on the overall well-being of Layer 1. If anything bad or undesirable were to happen with Layer 1 blockchain, like a hack or a bug, it's going to have an impact on the well-being of Layer 2. To remedy this, many projects are actively working to make Layer 1 and Layer 2 as independent as possible. It's not to say that the connection between Layer 1 and Layer 2 will be completely severed. Now, if a Layer 2 application is doing well, it will reflect positively on Layer 1. So much so that many Layer 1 projects try their best to attract as many developers as possible to their platform. In sum, the higher the quality of Layer 2 applications, the better value will be gained by the Layer 1 network. Second, original chain versus forked chain. This second category is mostly about Layer 1 protocols, focusing on whether it's still the original protocol or it has been forked off some other protocol. Examples of this would be Bitcoin and Ethereum as the original protocols, while Zcash, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin are all examples of fork chains, since these have been derived from the main Bitcoin protocol. In this video, we'll focus on tokenomics, so if you're wondering about what blockchain forking is, hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so that you can be alerted once we put out a video digging deeper into that. Third, utility versus security token. Most ICOs are opportunities to invest in the company itself, and most tokens qualify as securities. However, if the token fails the Howey test, then it is classified as a utility token. Simply put, these tokens provide users with a product and/or service. In other words, you can think of it like a gateway token. Generally speaking, utility tokens have the following properties. Number 1, it gives holders of the token a right to use the network. Number 2, holders of the token are granted voting rights on the network. Number 3, due to its limited supply, the value of the tokens are heavily influenced by the law of supply and demand. On the other hand, a crypto token that passes the Howey test is considered to be a security token which derives its value from an external asset that can be traded. And because these tokens are treated as securities, it's subject to federal securities and regulations. This means that if the ICO does not follow the regulations, they could be subjected to penalties. Number 4. Fungible versus non-fungible. When you say a token is fungible, it can facilitate interchangeably of units of a commodity with other units of the same commodity, like Bitcoin or Ethereum. Non-fungible, on the other hand, are unique and are not interchangeable, like your passport, which can only be used by you and cannot be used by someone else at the airport. Moving along, you must bear in mind that tokenomics evolves with innovation in tokens, and so there is a growing number of tokens that have more improved properties. On top of the classification we just talked about, these tokens can also be based on the following factors. First, rights. Tokens may give the holder either property or access rights. Second, durability. Tokens can keep stable despite crackdowns from regulators or cyber attacks. Third, regularity. Tokens are rather easy to classify and regulate. Fourth, purpose. Tokens can serve as a proof of behavior or create value or to represent existing assets or access rights. Fifth, supply. Tokens can be offered in limited quantities or sometimes with no limits. Sixth, flow. Tokens can be generated linearly and destroyed after used or remain in circulation. Seventh, which is last but not least, temporal. Tokens may or may not have an expiration date. Now, moving on to what sets tokenomics apart from the real-world economics we generally live in. Over time, major economic forces that influence our lives become increasingly controlled by a few centralized and bureaucratic institutions. Thanks to the internet and distributed ledgers, the sources of various kinds of capital including financial, supply chains, information, etc. are now flowing freely through these informational networks. In parallel, developments in blockchain technology provide secure and reliable ways to model token economies to reflect better markets and serve as the underlying logic in the face of new technologies. The following are some applications of token economics. Number 1, it offers full cost accounting. Tokens can be coded to reflect both economic and social cost while accounting. An example is a token that can be coded to include the price of diamonds that are sourced ethically versus the ones that are not referred to as blood diamonds. Number 2, better alignment of producer and consumer. In a token-based economy, you can bypass big corporations that may not align with your values as a consumer. This can be done by replacing organizations with token-based blockchain networks where producers and consumers can find each other based on their specific needs. This basically replaces big corporations with community-based solutions, and as the network scales up, the profits are distributed throughout the network's token holders instead of being gobbled up by big corporations. Number 3, triple entry accounting. For those unfamiliar with the term, is a proposed enhancement of double entry bookkeeping. By cryptographically sealing all entries dealing with an outside party with a third entity in the system, this third entity is the blockchain where the entries are added both as receipts and transactions. Used the right way, it can easily replace administrative cost of auditing complex organizations. Number 4, incentive systems. Tokenomics built on blockchain technology have a reward system that increases the area of transactions where every source of value can be tokenized. This in turn builds microeconomics that aligns individuals' incentives with the goal of growing the ecosystem. Now let's talk about investment and tokenomics. With a great number of projects raising funds via ICOs, it's important for investors to develop tools to analyze the viability of investment opportunities. As an investor, here are some of the factors that may be considered in assessing a token project. First, the team. The people behind the project must have the right credentials and must be reliable. Second, the business model. Their business model must make sense. It doesn't always have to be groundbreaking or revolutionary, it just needs to be sensible as a business, as the complexities of token economies scale from simple payment methods to greater ones. Next is PR and branding. How well is the project being communicated to the community? Because in the end, as it uses decentralization as its core, a vibrant community is crucial to the success and growth of the project. Legality. The legal status of tokens remain murky in many jurisdictions, and so projects need to have a good legal team to make sure no laws are being violated and investors would have peace of mind. Next is the token structure. This is crucial. So, you must understand the technical aspects of the token being developed and distributed. In closing, tokenomics as a field is still in its infancy, and already it has changed a lot of foundational cornerstones of the current world economy. So there's still a lot to be explored with a wide selection of tokens. Many organizations are developing more complex and specific use cases every day. The bottom line is that the possibilities are almost endless. We hope you learned a lot about tokenomics, tokens, and what an exciting future awaits. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, give it a like, and hit the notification bell so that you won't miss out on our next upload. Until next time, see you in the next video.